From R.D. Smothers Wealth Management, this is The Retirement.
When you retire, if you want an exciting life, you need a boring investment strategy.
Matters.
If you enter into retirement without a plan for income, you're not retired, you're simply unemployed.
Podcast.
Hey, this is your host, Dale Smothers, and you're listening to the Retirement Matters Podcast. My hope is that you will find the information you need in every single show on how to do one of the three things: either saving more money more efficiently, planning better for your future where you can live in retirement worry-free, or my favorite, how you can live a happy and fulfilled life in this life you have been given. We know that your time is valuable, and we appreciate you spending it listening to this episode of the Retirement Matters Podcast. On this episode of the Retirement Matters Podcast, we go into what you should expect your retirement advisor to be assisting you with as you sit down to begin your planning process. Many people are working with a growth advisor unknowingly, not getting the preparation or the advice that they need for what a retirement plan actually should entail. If you feel like you are making decisions on your own about Social Security, Medicare, tax planning strategies like Roth conversions, or whether or not you should be looking to set up a trust in the event of a long-term care need, all of these decisions are decisions that should go into a true retirement plan, and you shouldn't really have to be asking the question at all, much less trying to find the answers on your own. If this is the case, you probably need some advice from a retirement income advisor, one who is specializing in that same phase of retirement that you're in. So if you're in retirement income phase, maybe you've already retired, or perhaps you're over the age of 59 and a half and you're really trying to look towards that phase of life, now is the time that you need a true comprehensive plan to help guide you through all of the decisions you're going to be facing. And of course, we're here to help. I hope this show shines some light on some things that you should be including in those plans. And as always, you have the opportunity to reach out to our team to assist you in building the plans that you need to make it through successfully in this retirement journey. Hope you enjoy this show, and if you have any feedback for us, we'd love to hear it. A rating, an honest review, all of those things help us get this message out to more and more people, and the more people we can touch, the better retirement will be. So without further ado, let's get to the episode, and I hope you enjoy this week's episode of the Retirement Matters Podcast. Good morning to you. I hope you're doing well, and you're ready to start discussing all things retirement matters. This morning, my goal is to give you some thought on what you should be expecting when you sit down with a financial advisor, even if it's an advisor you've been working with for many years. As you approach retirement income phase, there are some things that you should come to expect in your retirement plan. And if you're just sitting down with an advisor, perhaps you're just starting to interview advisors, some common questions that you should be asking. I also want to discuss why it's important to have a true investment plan and not just a portfolio of different investments. These things should be working together, just like you may think of a band and the different instruments in the band. It's not enough to just have many, many instruments. You've got to have the right instruments to play the music that is desired. This is exactly how we will describe this when explaining to you why we have certain investments inside of your investment plan. And a true retirement plan is going to make sure those investments are working towards a common objective, not just putting stuff in there because it grows pretty well. And then I want to really talk to you about some things that we've heard over the last couple of weeks about people who have wanted to be coming in to talk to us for years, but thought that maybe they didn't have enough money. That has prompted me to just put this out here as a word of caution that it's never too late, nor is it the fact that you have to have millions of dollars to come talk to us. We want to talk to you around that. And hopefully, if you have been on the fence of coming to talk to us and you think maybe, well, I've only got a few $100,000. I've only got a couple $100,000 to work with. A lot of this depends on how much money you need in income to be successful. I've seen people that have $300,000 live very, very comfortably in retirement, and I've seen people with $3 million struggle to get by. because it's all about the income, which is why we start there in the first place. We'll get into all that later today, but we've got to go to our first step here, which is the pause for positivity. This is the first piece of every one of the shows that we do. And I want to ask you this question. What would you do if you were working a minimum wage job, or let's say just over minimum wage, and you found $10,000 in cash? What would you do? This is the question we're going to use to bring in our pause for positivity this week. And I don't want you to take this as a judgment of you would be wrong if you said, well, I would pocket that cash. I found it on the ground. There are probably a lot of people that would say, well, that cash had no rightful owner. So I would look at the heavens and say, thank you, Jesus. Well, this is the dilemma that faced this young teenager who worked at a Chick-fil-A in North Carolina on April the 3rd. His name is Jaden, and he was cleaning the bathroom one morning, and right beside of the toilet, he saw two envelopes, one with $5,000 and one with $4,333 inside of them. These two envelopes had no name on them other than the bank name. Truist and First Citizens Bank is where these two envelopes came from. And it appeared as if someone maybe had cashed a check. But there were no ownership names. There was nothing in them to identify where they belonged. He was the only one in the restroom. And rather than pocket the money, he decided to take this to HR. And when he showed it to them, they immediately posted saying that if anyone has lost some cash, we have found it. The rightful owner very quickly was able to come and identify how much would be in there and what bank they would have come from. The cash was returned, and the young man was interviewed. I think this was on the Today Show. The young man was interviewed, and he told NBC all he was doing was the right thing. He said when he saw it, he knew something was wrong, and he began to think, what would it feel like to have lost that money? This is a dilemma that, not many of us will ever face. But what I want to do with this pause for positivity is I want to highlight that humanity is not as bad as we may think it is. I want to bring a little positive news to your day, to your week. I think that deep down, we are more alike than we are different. We've got to be vocal with the good stuff. It seems that the bad stuff gets all the publicity. And this story really brought a little joy to my heart. Imagine being the person who was told that, hey, we've actually got your money. Imagine being the person that lost the money and you get home and realize it's gone. What kind of feeling that must be. And this young man, this teenager, had the power to erase that negative feeling, and he did it. Again, I'm not here to judge you. I'm certainly not here to say that you would be wrong, in air quotes. You would be wrong for having taken that money. But I think we all deep down can know when we do something right. And I will just leave it at this, which I believe my mother taught me, which, again, thanks, Mom, for teaching me the way that I should live, and Dad. But this one came from Mom. If you have to ask whether it's right or not, you've already got the answer. If you have to ask if it's good or bad, well, there's probably an answer in the question itself. And I think this one is going to chalk itself up to be that. If you're standing in the bathroom and you have the feeling of, should I return this? Yeah, probably so. So good job to this young man. Good job to Jaden. Now, we don't know this man, and we may never see him in our life. But one thing is true. What he has done is inspirational, especially to those just like you who want to see this world be a better place. Now, I'm not here to judge anyone. I'm not here to even tell you which decision you should have made in that situation. But I am here to tell you that the decision that was made by Jaden was the right one, and it can become contagious. Together, me and you, this week, let's go out and on purpose, let's impact people in this world, and let's make it a better place to live. That is our pause for positivity this week. Just a little bit of good news for you, a little bit of a good report, just to encourage you as you are fighting on your own front towards making this world a better place. All right, we're going to take a quick break. And as we go to break, I just want to remind you that on our Facebook page, R.D. Smothers Wealth Management, you have a free resource, a downloadable copy of multiple things that you should be using in your own retirement plan. It's called the Retirement Atlas. We're going to talk a little bit more about that throughout this show. But don't forget that you can download your own copy right there. Of course, you can always reach out to our team, 270-600-PLAN. If you have any questions or need any assistance, don't go anywhere. We're coming back with more Retirement Matters right after this.
You're listening to the Retirement Matters Show with Dale Smothers. Dale is the founder and president of R.D. Smothers Wealth Management, serving the residents of Kentucky and Tennessee. We specialize in building retirement plans that allow you to walk away from the worry of running out of money. We are happy that you're listening in and hope you find value in this week's episode. If you'd like to listen to past episodes and find exclusive content and full-length interviews, search for the Retirement Matters podcast on the podcast platform of your choice, or visit us online at rdswealth.com. While you're there, be sure to sign up for our free weekly newsletter. That website again is rdswealth.com. If you'd like to chat with a member of our team, you can do so absolutely free by calling 270-600-PLAN. That's 270-600-PLAN. Visit us online at rdswealth.com and be sure to sign up for our free weekly newsletter.
All right, welcome back to the show. I want to talk to you for just a few minutes about what you should expect a retirement planning process to entail. And if you don't see your advisor currently doing this, or maybe you're not working with an advisor at all and you need a little bit of assistance in getting this process started, we would be happy to help. 270-600-PLAN. Our team is here to help assist you in building the retirement that you've always imagined. And as a little bit of a spoiler alert here, we're going to talk more about this in greater detail, but you don't have to have millions of dollars to be ready to retire. I've seen people with $200,000 or $300,000 be able to retire just as successfully as someone with $3 million. It all depends on the amount of income you need in retirement. And this is why we have to start with income planning as we are building your plan for retirement. So number one, the first thing that you have to expect when you sit down with a retirement advisor is that you are going to start discussing the amount of income you currently bring in and the amount of income that you're going to need in retirement. We have a very unique process that we lead our clients through, or the people that are coming in to discuss these things with us. We'll start to discuss the amount of money that you're bringing right now from all sources and the amount of money that you will bring in the future from all sources. And we begin to work towards what we call the income gap. And once we understand the income gap that will appear when you retire, only then can we begin to build a true income plan. This income plan should entail when you turn on Social Security. You should not be guessing at when to take Social Security, nor should you be making this decision alone if you're truly working with an income advisor. The income retirement advisor is going to be equipped to help you in that process. We have a lot of people that we talk to who've come to us simply because they don't know when to take Social Security. And we begin to ask them, have you talked to your advisor? And they're almost always telling us that, well, when I talk to my financial advisor about Social Security, they tell me that they don't work with that. And primarily that means that they are a growth advisor. The growth phase doesn't require an expertise in Social Security, but your income phase certainly does. And so if you have an advisor who's either not able to tell you about Social Security or, again, I think they need to be very well versed in Social Security or else they're not an income phase advisor. Our clients that we work with have a partner here in helping decide when the best time to take Social Security would be based off of the math and science behind their need for income. We will work with you to help you understand that and then together make that decision and even help you start to claiming Social Security, start to begin that claim and working with Social Security to start the income. So if you have questions around Social Security and you don't have advice on that, then we are here to help. 270-600-PLAN can start that conversation. That phone number, again, 270-600-7526. We can begin to help you understand when you should be taking Social Security based off of all the other assets that you have. Also, when you look at the income plan, it should walk you through pensions. We specifically help people who have large pensions on deciding whether or not a lump sum or an income stream for life makes sense. And you would be surprised that it's not always one way or the other. It really is as unique to them and their plan as their fingerprint. And so we want to build this unique income plan for a client with extreme clarity, and then together embark on where your investments should be setting to accomplish that income plan. If you go to talk to an advisor and they immediately start discussing with you what investments you need to buy or sell, you are working with a growth advisor, period. I'm going to just go full stop right there. If you're sitting down with an advisor and they are not immediately starting to talk to you about your decisions around income and when you plan to retire and essentially what your Social Security strategy looks like now and where are your taxes, you're talking to a growth advisor. They have one job in mind, and that's to grow your assets. And I'm going to tell you, when you enter into retirement income phase, whether you need income from those investments or not, you do not need to focus first and foremost on the investment. You need to focus on the plan for how income's going to come into the household and how long it's going to last. Only then can you truly start to make wise investment decisions. And so, again, if you're working with an advisor that maybe has never sat down to discuss with you an income plan, you need to see one before you enter into retirement. If you're over the age of 59 and a half and you haven't seen a true income plan, you need to call our team. 270-600-PLAN, and we'll get that conversation started. Another thing that you really need to understand about your meeting is it shouldn't be stressful. It shouldn't be your advisor just regurgitating a bunch of financial jargon. It should make sense to you on what you're trying to accomplish together when you leave that meeting. And one of the ways that we help make sense of this is we actually put it up on a board, on a big whiteboard or a TV, to help you understand what moves are being made and what you need to have adjusted inside of your plan for opportunities. This truly gives you the clarity you need to help it make money for you in the long run. We have a slogan here that if it doesn't make sense, it'll never make dollars. And so perhaps if you walk away from your meetings more confused than you were when you sit down, maybe giving it a second opinion, having someone else take a look at it, a second set of eyes on your existing plan makes a lot of sense for a lot of people, especially if they've been working with the same advisor all the way up to the point of retirement. And something else to consider is that if your advisor is ready to retire the same time you are, man, you might be in a really hard place there when you get ready to walk away from work. You would be walking into a relationship that's brand new, and perhaps a junior advisor who has to sell you something new in order to make a living. So be careful with who you're working with as you approach retirement income phase. It's not always the fact that the same advisor who got you there should be the one who leads you through retirement. As a matter of fact, it's often not the case at all. When you sit down with your retirement advisor, you also need to be focusing on taxes. So many times, again, there's only a discussion around the investments. What is your tax strategy? How are you going to eliminate unnecessary taxes inside of your retirement income plan? How are you going to lower your overall tax bill? How are you planning to address this tax tumor that is growing inside of your IRAs or your 401ks to make sure that your beneficiaries are not hit with a substantial tax bill when and if you pass away? And here's another one. How are we going to make sure that we are not entering into required minimum distributions with such a large amount of money in tax qualified accounts that it then makes our Medicare go up? Or even worse, it enters us into a much higher tax bracket than we should have been in with just a little bit of planning.
We can help save a lot of money with a lot of different clients that we've worked with just by doing a proper tax plan. The idea would be to get into as low of a tax bracket as possible as you enter into retirement. Even if you're already in retirement and you've never taken a look at your tax plan, maybe your advisor's never looked at that from a tax perspective, now is the time, because taxes are as low as they've been in decades, and we don't know how much longer this is going to last. The country is spending money like they can print it because they can. And with oil and the petrodollar and inflation and all the things that come with this Middle Eastern crisis, now is the time to be looking at your tax strategy and make sure that you are paying out your partnership with the IRS as quickly and as efficiently as possible. We help clients do just that. And one last thing I want to discuss that you should also be focusing on with your advisor is a healthcare strategy. And this is, what are you going to do about Medicare, Medicare supplement, and long-term care? Again, we talk to a lot of people who have never had this conversation with their advisor. It's not that their advisor's bad. It's simply that their advisor is focused on growth only. The growth phase requires growth. The income phase of retirement requires growth, protection, and preparation for all of the decisions that you will have to face. Medicare, long-term care expenses, and making sure that the nursing home doesn't take your own farm is one of those decisions. Every one of us will face these decisions if we live long enough, and you should not be facing them alone. Work with an advisor who is in the same phase as you are. We specialize in that phase of retirement. For those over the age of 59 and a half, we begin to really help you make heads and tails of these decisions that you're going to have to face, and together map out the plan and the blueprint for you, a map, if you will, to know how to navigate around those things. We call these maps the Retirement Atlas. 5 different maps for 5 different very important areas of your life, including investments, but not limited to investments. Making sure that, yes, your money is growing when the market's doing well and protected when the market's not doing well at all. But it's there for a reason. And those monies that you have saved over the years need to help you achieve a successful retirement. And that is exactly what the Retirement Atlas does for you. If this is at all interesting or maybe sparked a little bit of a thought about, I wonder if the Retirement Atlas can help me, go to our Facebook page, R.D. Smothers Wealth Management Facebook page. At the very top, we've got it pinned on that Facebook page, a link that you can go to, and you can download your very own resources of the Retirement Atlas and how you can start to build towards the retirement you've always imagined. We strive every single day to assist our clients, the ones that we have partnered with, in living a successful retirement. We're much more than just investment managers. We are partners with the clients we serve for the rest of their life. This is our commitment. We would love an opportunity to show you how that commitment could help better your own retirement along the way. We're going to go to a quick break. When we come back, we're going to debunk a couple of misconceptions around how much money you've got to have to work with an investment advisory firm like ours. We've heard it way too many times now, to the point where I want to bring it to you, the radio listening audience. And I want to address this head on, because you may be shocked at how much money we actually can help you with. We can go into tens of millions or hundreds of thousands. You don't have to have those multiple millions to be able to benefit from the tools that we use. 270-600-PLAN is how you would reach out to our team. Hopefully we can catch you on the back half of this break. Don't go anywhere. We're coming back with more right after this.
It's 4th and 1 with 2 seconds left in the game. Less than 1 yard separates you from victory. You have the best running back in the league, but your coach calls a Hail Mary. As silly as that sounds, we see a lot of retirement managers being far too aggressive with your investments when a more conservative play would be a better fit. You have questions, we have answers.
Contact R.D. Smothers Wealth Management, 270-600-PLAN. That's 270-600-7526.
All right, welcome back to the show. So I wanted to go into this very quickly. I want to help you understand that we work with clients that range from $200,000 all the way up to tens of millions of dollars. We manage quite a bit of money, and it is true that we are able to help the ultra wealthy, but you don't have to be ultra wealthy to benefit from a true retirement plan. As a matter of fact, this radio show is built for those who are somewhere between, say, $250,000 all the way up to $2.5 million. That is where the tactics that we discuss in this radio show really make a lot of sense. The tactics that we discuss are built for those who have done a good job of saving, but they need strategy in their plan to be able to make it to the end and live as efficiently and as prosperously as they desire. To be able to stretch a dollar as much as we can, give as little to the IRS as we have to, keep it and protect it from market volatility. Also, these dollars, if we have any left, making sure they go to the beneficiaries that we desire, the people and the places we care about. That is exactly what we do here at RDS Wealth. It's much more than just growing assets in mutual funds. And trust me, especially in this area, there are a lot of firms and advisors that are out there just to grow the money. And you never really get any other discussion about any other thing except growing money. And don't get me wrong, we definitely grow clients' money here. We put it in the market. We put it in certain options vehicles that give us some serious downside protection. We talked about that last week, as a matter of fact. We utilize something we call the risk-on, risk-off portfolio construction in our Atlas that gives you a ton of protection on the downside if you need it. But one thing that we do is when we're growing this money, when we are also protecting it from market losses, we are building it with an objective to support the income and the retirement plans that you desire. Again, stretching that dollar as far as it can go, and this allows you to truly live an optimal retirement. So don't be at home thinking, okay, I this sounds good, but I don't have enough money. If you have a couple $100,000 and you're approaching retirement, and you really need some help, don't suffer through this alone. We can help you. Granted, if you have a couple $1 million, you are in serious need of help because you have some unique challenges that are going to be facing you that the ones who have saved maybe a couple $100,000 just don't have. And, you've got enough money to live, perhaps, but if you make any wrong moves or mistakes, it could go south in a hurry. That's what we're here to help you do. 270-600-PLAN. We're going to take one more break, and when we come back, we're going to discuss why your retirement investment plan should be unique and not a cookie-cutter approach. Don't go anywhere. We're coming back with more Retirement Matters right after this.
Thank you for listening to Retirement Matters, presented by R.D. Smothers Wealth Management. If you'd like to speak with us, give us a call at 270-600-PLAN. And if you enjoy the information in this show and would like to hear more, you can access previous shows by searching for the Retirement Matters podcast on the podcast platform of your choice. We also produce a weekly newsletter. Receive it free to your email inbox by signing up online at rdswealth.com.
All right, welcome back. We don't have a lot of time, so I want to tell you this quick little story that makes me think about how it's necessary for us to have multiple different investments that accomplish different things. This was a story of my son going hunting. He's a 6-year-old son, and he looks down at the gun, and he asked me what the trigger guard is. And he said, "What does this do, Daddy?" And I said, "Well, that just keeps the trigger from being pulled on accident." And it made me think. A gun without a trigger guard would work, but it wouldn't be as safe. A gun without a stock would work, but it wouldn't be nearly as stable. A gun without a scope would work, but it wouldn't be as accurate. And why am I saying this? I'm telling you this because a retirement plan without all 5 bases being covered. It may work, but it will not be as efficient. It will not be as comfortable, and you will certainly not be able to walk in confidence through retirement. You see, it may actually get you to where you want to be, but what we build for you is kind of like having a complete rifle as opposed to just the firing mechanism. Clearly, the firing mechanism is what is important, but everything around it gives it a sense of stability, a sense of safety, and a sense of accuracy. This is the Retirement Atlas. And if you need assistance in building your own retirement plan, we're here for you. 270-600-PLAN. We will get to the bottom of exactly what you need inside of your plan, and together we can work towards achieving this retirement you've always imagined. All right, and just like that, we're at the end of the show. I do hope that you have enjoyed this show. It has went by way too fast. I've got so much more I wanted to talk about, just not enough time. We would love an opportunity to build for you your retirement plan. We call it the Retirement Atlas. It's a set of roadmaps that get you to and through retirement in the destinations that you desire to visit along retirement. We can build this for you, and if you need any assistance in that, you give us a call, 270-600-PLAN. Or maybe you're just looking for a little bit of information, and we have made that very easy with a free resource that we have provided for you on our Facebook page, R.D. Smothers Wealth Management. Again, that's R.D. Smothers Wealth Management. If you go to our Facebook page, at the very top, it's pinned. There will be a link for you to actually download a free resource, a list of resources, multiple things that you'll get from this completely free that help you really start on your journey towards building the retirement plan that will get you to your desired destination. All right, we'll see you back here same time next week. Until we talk again, always remember, save money, plan well, and live happy in retirement. God bless.
Investing involves a risk, including the potential loss of principal. Any references to protection, safety, or lifetime income generally refer to fixed insurance products, never securities or investments. Insurance guarantees are backed by the financial strength and claims paying abilities of the issuing carrier. This radio show is intended for informational purposes only. It is not intended to be used as the sole basis for financial decisions, nor should it be construed as advice designed to meet the particular needs of an individual situation. R.D. Smothers Wealth Management is not permitted to offer, and no statement made during this show shall constitute tax or legal advice. Our firm is not affiliated with or endorsed by the U.S. government or any governmental agency. The information and opinions contained herein provided by third parties have been obtained from sources believed to be reliable, but accuracy and completeness cannot be guaranteed by R.D. Smothers Wealth Management.